Welcome, everybody, and thank you for all your comments about our table talk. So what is table talk? Well, table talk with Gwen, that's me, Yvonne and Elham, started as us girls getting together and just having random conversations, which we found really helpful and supportive. And thought, well, maybe there are other people out there that might share that view. So we decided to set up a YouTube channel and share with you our conversations. Now, we would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel. Just go to the button below, press on the bell, and you'll get notifications as well. The bell beside the subscription button. And yeah, that would be really helpful for us. So this morning, we're going to talk, and Elham's going to introduce it. We're going to talk about, and I have to take a deep breath before I even say this, money. Ouch. So one of the reasons we're going to talk about this is for that very reason, the resistance, the reluctance to talk about it. So we've no idea what's going to come out. Maybe Elham has, certainly better than me or Yvonne, but she's going to get us rocking and rolling. But first of all, Yvonne, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi. I'm Yvonne, and I don't know, we're going straight into money, what I feel about it, what it means to me. It means to me my security in life. I've had so much attachment to money, and if I think about it nowadays, if it comes to mind, it's really I go past the money to what is really coming up, and it's fear. I fear. What is it I fear? And attached to that is old memories of times when I've literally been homeless and destitute, and so yes, the whole thing around money is not just the money. It's like it looks like it's that, and it looks like, what do I do about it? But I've also got so many memories, if I can be calm enough to recall them, that where I feel like I've had some kind of divine intervention that's come in and really saved the day. And it's been able to practice that, well, using my method of what brings me into a calm place so I can actually remember, show me, it's like show me, remind me of when I have been cared for, and the miraculous times that something's come in.
Thanks, Yvonne. So we'll carry on to Elham. Introduce yourself. Now, it was you that brought the topic, and I think by the sounds of it, we will have plenty to say. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and the topic of money?
Yeah, so it's not a thing I talk about very often in, when we get together. We don't usually sit around talking about money other than not having it. It's not a thing that we aspire to have. It's not a thing, we only talk about it if we're worried about it. We don't sit there sort of saying, hey, I've got this, other people must have these other conversations about stocks and shares or investments, or there must be other people doing that kind of money talk, and we don't. And I listened to an interview last night with a coach who basically started out as not having any money at all, and been completely broke. And now, a few years later, she's selling coaching packages for $165,000. And I was kind of listening to it, and I was thinking, but why would you want to put your effort into earning so much money? Like, what? And then as she was talking, she was saying the more money you have, the less effort you make. You know, the less effort you make about making money, the more you have. And I was thinking, but why? And all this stuff came up about guilt, shame. And so the thing I wanted to sort of discuss today was, why do we have so many moral values attached to money? You know, and what are they? Like, I just thought it'd be interesting to unpack all the things we tell ourselves about money. I know what the sorts of things I say, and I know this coach said it yesterday, that is also what she believed in, and she called it the song I used to play. And it is a bit like a song you play, because you just repeat it. So the song I play is, I don't need much money, I only need just enough. I repeat this, you must have heard me saying this, I don't need much. I say this over, and you know, and guess what, I always have just enough. Like, I have no savings. I have no idea where the next lot of money will come into my life. It's just always just enough. And also, if I do have money, I give it away. There's something about there's something about, I give it away, it comes back, I give it away, it comes back, which is great. But when do you think, so a bit linked to what Yvonne was saying about money and security, you know, how much money do you need to feel secure? Because actually, you know, we saw the banks collapse, didn't we? People lost their savings, people have lost their pensions, your job goes, so all businesses collapse. So it's almost like, even if you have money, you don't necessarily have security. So why have we attached, as a society, why have we attached so much importance to having money, keeping money, saving money? You know, why? What's happening here? And how can we free ourselves from all these things? I mean, is money a moral thing, or is it just a thing that we've decided has got all these issues attached to it? Can we just free money? Can we free it up from all the stories we tell?
I must admit, when I'm talking to myself about money, it's usually in that fearful place. It's around lack. And it's interesting, because I was telling you earlier, I was writing my free writing pages this morning, and money came up for me, and I kept writing money, money, money. And it does have an energy. And in this world, it is the currency. So if you want things, you know, if you want to pay your bills, if you just want the basic stuff, yeah, you need money. And without it, then there is the possibility of destitution, I suppose. But that, I tend to go more, when I'm thinking money, I tend to go more into the area of lack. And what would happen if I didn't have any money? Oh my God, I'm going to have to make money. And instead of welcoming it, I remember listening to somebody as well who used to talk to her money honey. She's created a figure, and he was her money lover. So she used to have this, so as to have a healthy, intimate, loving, caring relationship with money, which very few of us do. We don't treat money like it's welcome. Like you say, it's like enough, as long as I have enough. And I know you give money away. I don't know anybody like you that gives so much away, who has so little. But it is about, there's a lot of shame and guilt around money. Like, I don't think people like to say they love money. I mean, there will be people, of course, but most people don't, Yvonne, most people don't like, if you go to a gathering or a party, it's not like you're opening gambit, is it? Oh, hi, I love money. What about you? You know, maybe it should be, I don't know. But I think the money thing, for me personally, also goes into other areas in my life where I noticed this week, just this week, that I see lack more than I see abundance. And maybe that's where we have to change our focus as well.
So Yvonne, you love money?
I do love money, yeah. Yeah, I've not, I can't think that I've had a time where I've felt ashamed of loving money. I felt guilty for having money. And I felt shame for not having money, you know, being humbled. So I've had different degrees of financial experiences in my life, but I was brought up with a mother who said to me that your best friend in life is money. Forget your husband, forget your best friend in life is money. So I've developed a relationship from a young age of money is my best friend. And if that's threatened in any way, then my whole existence is threatened. But as you know, as in recent times, I've come to see that my relationship with money is the relationship with me. So it's like it's out of alignment, because do I love me? No. So it's almost like I do have a push-pull relationship with money.
I love that your mother said that to you, whereas what I grew up with was money doesn't grow on trees. So it's all about hard work equals money, you know, and that's another myth, isn't it? That we have to work really hard in order to get money.
Yes.
And something else that occurred to me was that a lot of people who are in the caring professions, you know, therapists and healers and that wide band of people, sometimes struggle to charge what they're worth. Because I think it comes back to your conversation, Yvonne, about how they feel about themselves. I don't know, Elham, what do you think about that? Because you very much are in that world.
I just wonder why we attach worthiness with money, though. Like, how did that come about? Because you know, people used to say, I used to run a low-cost clinic, and I charged £20 because I was trying to reach people who would otherwise not be able to pay or have access to therapeutic support. And so many people would say, you need to charge what you're worth. And I kept saying, but it's got nothing to do with what I'm worth. It's because I want to increase access. It really wasn't about, oh, I'm not good enough. It was, I want to offer something that people can access. And then there came a point where I had to earn more money. Like, you know, I left the university and I charged £80 for the very same sessions. And I was full. I was literally, you know, number of clients went up, and when I charged more, I had more clients than when I charged £20, which was a bit odd. And then I decided to halve it again. So then I started charging £45. And then I started to feel, actually, when I charged £45, it was a bit weird, because I started to feel sometimes it was like the worthiness thing came in. So when I offered it almost free from my heart, you know, just paid for the room and a little bit of marketing or something. When I offered it free from my heart, it had no equation. You know, money had nothing to do with worthiness. When I charged more, it had nothing to do with worthiness. It was literally, I needed that to pay for my living costs. And then, but when I went halfway, suddenly it got all confused and muddled. And I guess my intention wasn't clear. It was like, yeah, I do need money, but then people also need, you know, basically the thing is, when your gaze, and I'm going to say this all the time because it's the truth for me, when your gaze is on the external, things get confused. If you do something for some outward looking thing, it all gets a bit weird and confused, and it's not a pure intention. But you know, when I needed money and I charged more, That had nothing to do with worthiness. And so now I've been doing this business course, which is a bit odd in itself, isn't it, for me? I run a business, but I don't know much about business. There's some sort of valor in that. I don't talk, I run a business and it's supposed to be making money, but somehow I have this attachment to it being a non-profit, as in, it's okay, we don't make much money. I mean, I'm being really transparent here. These are the thoughts that come up all the time. But actually, how much better would it be if we made more money so that we could help more people? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why have I had this for the last 8 years, this attachment to, oh, we just need enough. We just need enough to pay. Literally, our rent has been like £483. And quite often we've had £483 and 10 pence. So if that doesn't tell you the truth.
I think it's a really valid point, though, what you made there, and is that if we had more money, then we would be able to do things with that money. If you didn't want to keep it for yourself, you, like, particularly in the work that you do, you could employ more people, pay people, offer more in terms of therapeutic support and help.
And then the other thing about it is, on this business course, so there's 500 women from across the world in this Facebook group, and so many women are posting about lack of worthiness. It seems to be like a universal female thing, and I think we have to also acknowledge this isn't just an individual character fault or an individual ancestral gift or trauma or whatever. It's actually societal, cultural, and structural. There's structural inequality embedded in our system, in patriarchy, in capitalism. So we've not only inherited our individual family stories around money, but we're put in our place, having money, not having money, the deserving poor, the landowners, aristocrats, we're still in that system. We still have to know our place in this system. And for women, standing on your own 2 feet, exactly as Yvonne said, that's almost like a revolutionary act for a woman to not have to rely on a man. If you think about across cultures, so many women end up in abusive relationships or in, unfulfilled in relationships as well, where they have to rely on a man because they've not been in a society that's encouraged their education or their work. So there's kind of political issues around money as well, which I think we can't separate.
Yeah, so we live here anyway in a real class structure, and I think there'll be a lot of people having conversations about money right now as people are losing their jobs and and being back in I don't use this word often because now I couldn't find it, lockdown. So people will be having conversations about what they're going to do. And so what might we say to that? I feel sometimes I'm in a privileged position, but I have been thinking that I could maybe have to go and do a job that I once did before, that I really would dread going back to. But if necessity, if it was necessary for me to go back, I'd have to go back. And there are a lot of people facing that. So what can we say to that? What do we say to people who haven't got much flexibility around money? It's like what I'm trying to do here is embody the conversation a bit into everyday life of people. I really take on board what you're saying, Elham. This is a global issue, and in many cultures, people are unable to live their lives according to how they would want because they don't have any control over the money coming into the house. But I just wonder how we might be able to open up a conversation about what's happening here at the moment, because I think there's a lot of fear around. There's a lot of fear out there in the world at the minute. because of what we're going through. So there's going to be a lot of fear come up around money as well, isn't there? I mean, I feel it. I feel the fear. I feel like, you know, I'm saying, oh, maybe I could go and get a job, but what if I couldn't get a job? What if actually there's so many people going for that job, I wouldn't get it? It's like we're very limited in our choices now. And I think you've talked about this, Yvonne. You know, it is about how we manage this, but it's also quite real, isn't it? It can be quite real for a lot of people.
Do you want to say something about that, Yvonne?
Yeah, it is quite real. It is quite real. And if I spoke to anyone around money, which I do, I've got 2 people around me that feel very fearful. It's to really it's how do I help myself and anyone to see money differently than to go into the fearful, because we've all had experiences where we do get guided somewhere. You know, the last time I was working, it was certainly not my choice of where I went. I didn't sit there and go, oh, I need a new job and I need to go there and I need to do whatever. I was just in a dilemma of like, I hate my job where I'm in, I can't, and it's all being deconstructed, destabilized, and I don't know where I'm going, and I need to have an income, blah, 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 blah. And behind the scenes, it's like something was going on. And right now, in, like you say, what I would call the collective mind, it's universal. It's universal. The fear, the what you would deem lack of self-love. What does it even mean? And how worthy am I? I don't deserve. What came to me the other day was about entitlement. It's not a word I'd use, but it was like, oh, right, well, what does that mean to me? And there's been times where I feel I'm not entitled. I'm not entitled to receive benefits, let's say. I've had that. I wasn't entitled to, and someone said, well, actually you are. And, you know, so it's about, if I looked at money and saw it as in my bank balance as just numbers, there are the red numbers or the black numbers. And it's like, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like, that is ridiculous. When I was young growing up, it was tangible. It was like, and I still have that.
Yeah.
Crisp notes, and it's like, oh my word, the excitement around that, because I could go to the sweetie shop and treat myself and do whatever. But now it's like, invariably, it's a piece of plastic and it's a letter that's just got numbers on it. and it just doesn't make sense. And as a lot of people have experienced this year, it was completely random how nobody could have foretold how the lockdown happened and how money was just available. All of a sudden it was like, yeah, it's all right. Well, you'll get furloughed, you'll get 75%. And I know this isn't for everybody because everybody's experiencing it differently. It wasn't standard. But majority of people around me have had, well, you're not going to work, but you'll get a percentage of your salary. It's like, really? How can that be? And people with self-employed, certain ones have got X amount. There's been a lot of money that's all of a sudden come out of the blue and doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of nonsensical stuff going on, which to me, being able to look at the bigger picture has helped me to see that there is some force greater than ours that's like driving it somehow. And if I start trying to control and do anything it will still take me back on the path where I'm cared for.
I think the thing
it's about seeing the thing of money differently. What is it? What does it really mean to me? What does it really represent? Because it is a piece of paper and it is a load of numbers on a thing, isn't it? Red or black.
The thing that just came to mind as you were talking about the fear, it's not about not having money. Obviously, why would I fear that? It's because that would mean I would have to rely on the state, for example, which I haven't for a very long time, and then I would lose control. I think there's something around having money gives you freedom. I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels like if we had money, you would choose how you live your life and you would have freedom. Whereas when you don't have money, you've got no choice. You've got no choices. Your life is contracted. And I'm saying that without any moral judgment about any of it. It doesn't mean if you have more money, you'll make good choices. Or that if you have less money, you make bad choices. It's not about that. It's more, I think the fear that's coming up in me around this whole situation in our economy is not having control over my own life when you don't have, and how I choose to live my life. The worst thing for me would be to close the centre, which is quite possible. It's very possible. We've got enough money to pay the rent until February. I can pay end of January, and then what? I won't be able to make choices then if I don't have more money. And I think the way I've dealt with it, I've lived my life, literally like this for a very long time since I'd left the university and decided to open the centre, and I've had to live in trust. So I think the key, when you asked Gwen about what, about everyday life, how I've lived my life and how I continue to live my life is to trust that everything that is meant to be will be. And I will show up. I will do everything I can. It's not like I'm just lying on the sofa going, oh yeah, it'll be okay. I'm not. Although Yvonne might tell me I should do. But I'm more about actually, being quiet, being in nature, chanting, whatever it is that you do to bring yourself back into alignment, and then listening to those whispers of intuition, listening to those tiny voices that say, just send that email, just phone that person, go and read that book, do you remember that place? Just look them up. Literally at them in the moment, it might not feel like your life-changing moment, but every time you pay attention to one of these whispers, it will eventually, in a year's time, you look back and go, wow, look where I am now. And actually it started because can I just give you a quick example? For example, when we opened up the centre in 2014, reopened it, 2015, 16, I've lost dates now, 2016, we didn't have a programme. We didn't know how we were going to pay the rent. We had absolutely no idea, but we sat and meditated at the centre every single day. And I chant in the shower every morning. And in one of my chanting sessions in the shower, I literally just saw, I saw a calendar with a red pen, and it said Mondays, 11 o'clock, you are going to open up a Chanting for Peace session. It was literally, I just saw a calendar. And I didn't question it. I didn't say, oh, where did that come from? I just came on Facebook, put a note out and said, anyone want to, I'm sitting in the centre, 11 o'clock Mondays, anyone want to come and chant? And you came, and enough people came to pay the rent, in actual fact. And Jite went on Wednesdays and he sat in meditation, and it was by donation, both of us did these 2 sessions and we managed to pay the rent. So it wasn't because we did a business plan, it wasn't because we went to business school, it was just listening, trusting that we're there with a purpose, and listening to the space, listening to the land, listening to the trees, listening to our hearts, listening to the collective, and then just asking to be shown. Ask me, show me what I need to do next, and then trusting that you will be supported in that. And the truth is, I'd like to up level that now, because my way of doing things has led us to just having enough. I never know. And I'm ready for an up level. I want to have just more than enough so that I can help more people. I want to, and so we need to bring in someone who knows about these things. we need to talk to somebody who's up leveled and bring them on as a guest.
Well, that takes us to the end of today, and that's a nice note to end on, Elham. We're maybe inviting people on. We have talked about that, and I like that idea too. I'm sure our listeners would like to hear from other people. We would love to hear your comments. Our videos normally run about 30 minutes, but please post your comments below. We are so hoping to be able, at the minute, Table Talk is around the laptop, but we are really hoping in the new year to get round a table to be with you. So we wish you all the very best, and thank you for taking the time to listen to all of this today. And as I say, please write in the comments. We will respond. We're very grateful to you. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye.